Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today, it was another day where I kinda didn't wake up right, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I woke up a little bit too late. And at least today it was more of a conscious choice as well. I guess something I was experiencing a genuine fatigue, but it I was the thing happened where I wake up and fall asleep like a million times and have like a million different dreams. So that's not even I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't like it cuz it violates discipline and it violates consistency, but I kind of I don't know. I think it's cool when that happens. I don't really bat an eye at it too much, honestly. I think it's like fine. But yeah, the caveat is I wake up a lot later. Morning's a bit more rushed. But again, like I said, I personally think it's worth it. I don't I don't think that's a problem, honestly, when things like that happen. What was I thinking about this morning? Just before in the car, I don't know, the same thing as usual. I don't think I've been thinking about the afterlife enough because I think that's really the only way I can find peace in any of this. And I told you even throughout my whole life, it was never really something I considered because I logically got to the point where I kind of realized nobody really does enough to deserve heaven. So when you're aware of that fact, like there's no way. There's no way people are going to make it to heaven at this rate because I talk to people about issues and what we could do to fix it and nobody ever knows. So then how I mean, what are people doing with their time? It just doesn't. It's very confusing to me. It's baffling. So I don't see how. And again, of course, it's not up to me, but I'm saying this as a curious interpretation. You know, I'm trying to put two and two together. That's basically the premise. Is it's not to say, oh well, you know, I mean, I hope people who are supposed to, but I think there's a lot of good-hearted, good people who just don't. I mean, even me in the past had a lot of blindness and bias to things, and that's just me a couple years ago. And it almost feels like I outgrew something that the rest of the world hasn't. And that's kind of the main issue, right? Is that once you once you outgrow something and then you see that everybody else still hasn't, that's a completely different vantage point as how it was when like you were also still stuck there with everybody else. So I don't know. I don't really see how anybody deserves heaven because there's not really anybody now taking, correct action on earth to warrant that. So it seems strange to me, when religions try to put this stuff on you. It's cuz it's not, and I guess there's maybe a naiveness to the human condition that will believe it, right? there's a naiveness where I would assume most people just like to think that they will go to heaven and then not think much about it other than that. And they try their best, and that trying their best is good enough. But I don't think people have a comprehension of how low trying their best often is. How it's not really reaching all these prerequisites that I've talked about before. It's like, well, do you go out of your way to live efficiently, to conserve? But see, then you get into where I got into yesterday, where it's like, if our purpose is to destroy, that makes it even harder to reach a divine state, because you're incarnate in a body that seeks destruction. And so, even if you just get to be neutral, that, I guess, is an impressive thing at that point. But that is what people seek, and you still see it in entertainment. The desire for destruction. The desire for violence. The lower desires. Because incarnate in this body, this is what we deal with. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, why would you have to resist all these temptations? It's almost bad design. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why would a species exist that is supposed to resist temptation and instinct? It doesn't really align with other animals. And so a human can ruin their life very easily. But that's what I need to think about more, is the afterlife. And I mean, maybe it is true that God's looking for heart and intention more so than action, but I would have to assume that action matters. But feelings should matter too. And I hope, and I wonder if that's why things have been fortunate for me, is because of the feelings that I put out. But even then, I mean, we could chalk that up to just the vessel I was inserted into. My flesh happens to be neurologically able to process, I guess, a deeper, I'm not going to say a wider range of emotions, because that is a little bit difficult to prove, but definitely a deeper and a more memorable emotional encyclopedia. Sorry, I was looking for a different word than like a memorable emotional memory. Like, that's getting a little bit redundant, isn't it? So, but yeah, it's true. And so does that really make me as my soul special? I don't know. Because my soul, given this body, I've already said before, I don't really think I've done the most I could do or the best I could do. It hasn't felt that way. I felt like I've come short, especially with my capabilities, and hopefully that's just a part of the character development, but it definitely affects me, I think, more so than some others. There's a lot of people who fall short, but may have never really cared very much in the first place anyway. And so it just gets to be like, not really too big of a deal, I guess. Because a lot of people, these things don't matter and all this, but the main ways I wasn't successful might not even matter either. It was just materialism. And of course there's a lot I don't know, but I could have a pass from God for a lack of material success. It's just that throughout that time, I and even now, like I don't feel like I've done enough spiritual work, because that's really the most important path in life, is figuring out what is going on. And I don't think I've been as good as I could be at doing that, especially recently. But I guess it is what it is. I don't really know how else to square it. But I'm thinking about Afterlife because of my sense of injustice and how I just don't think that, like, there's no way I'm ever going to be at peace at this rate unless I am aware of if I have hope in some greater power in some afterlife. There's just no way. Just absolutely no way. Just can't believe it. It's difficult for me to believe that I'm ever going to be able to be happy unless I have faith in some kind of a justice that's going to be inflicted in the afterlife. What I think would be cool is if the afterlife was like really reasonable. You sit down, you talk to God, and you don't just like get punished or you don't just get rewarded. You get like a very detailed explanation of everything. And God explains to you, look, in this, like in my case, I would have told people certain pieces of information and them just like discount it. And God would say, look, here, you were wrong. You were wrong to doubt that guy. And so that was a misstep. And you go through these things and it's really a clear, like, shown, hey, this is clear as day what was the case and, where you messed up. But it's, I really would like to know that happens. But instead you kind of get the impression it's possible, like, when you die, you just get away with it all. There's no winning arguments or anything. People are just gone. And so if people are obnoxious, if they're argumentative with you, they just never have to let go of that. Never have to give you any closure or conclusion. some people just never mature, and then they die, and then they're gone. And then you never know what... Yeah. I think it's pretty crazy. To realize and to know that. But that's what I hope. I really hope some of these older people from the 1900s, they really get it given to them. But I wish it was happening now. And so I guess what I wonder about is different. The thing that I wonder about with God is much more specific than most people, because I see the system level degradation, and I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I wish there would just be a clearer way to just start fixing things now. Is it allegedly because it's a fallen world, and there's just going to be the new world where things are fixed, and this is just still the fallen world? I guess, but like, things could really be fixed. They could be better. It's not very hard. It's just other people's conflicting ideas and inability to adhere to a routine and to a schedule is really the problem. It's not that we don't have potential. We do. Things are possible. They are. But how does any of this get conveyed, and how do we make progress towards a brighter future? I don't know. I just don't know how we clear things up. And I can try, but I don't have a platform for whatever reason. I don't have power. I don't have anybody who's going to listen to me. The really, if I was a CEO or something, that would definitely be a good situation. I would have some kind of a platform to start to implement these ideas. But even within that framework, I would be limited because of the way a social species systems operate. You can't just cut ahead. And then, like, if I run my business too different than the rest of the businesses, then it's not like, it's just not going to work. It's not going to end up working. That's the whole problem. It just won't end up working. But I'd be so happy to run a business and know that it was run well is the most important part. Instead, I have to work for one that I see all the time is like not really... It's a shame. It's really a shame. But I think I would still be limited because, like I said, you basically are put into a position where you have to pay people whatever amount the market is paying. So it kind of gets dicey. That's basically what happened. It gets pretty dicey because I can't just pay the wages I want to pay because then other companies don't pay those same wages, and then it gets all messy. Because we're stuck in a social system, which is always going to be based on like the whatever the lowest average is, just conforming to that. In this case, nowadays, it's just overlooking people constantly. So that's the flaw. That's the lowest denominator that everything gets shifted towards, is the lowest denominator everything gets shifted towards is, yeah, I don't know why I'm just losing it. I'm just losing it. Yeah, being overlooked, having this system where, you know, you have hundreds of people applying for things and just not getting noticed, and nobody cares. Because the expectation now is that you're worthless. That's what the expectation is. You're worthless. Don't even get a job. We don't need you. We're not going to have the dignity to respond. These people, man. They just need to learn to go. No, I'm just no, no, because that go, I didn't mean it to. That sounded like pretty angry. That was not how I meant it to come out. Yeah, that's where we're at, you know, and nobody wants to think about that because everybody's so stuck in their own life. But even me as a person who I still feel like I'm a NEET. I mean, I've been working for over a year, but I don't know anything, you know? So I'm basically like a NEET in disguise. That's how I like to angle myself. Dude, they're going. They figured it out. They got with the program. Get with the program. um, But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I would like a job where I was paid higher and held to a higher standard, I guess. But who knows? I mean, maybe I'm not ready for that right now. And there's kind of been a pattern in my life of lots of waiting, and then me wanting this, wanting that, and then it very abruptly will come through, and then I'll be like, man, maybe I could add what I had before a little bit longer, you know? So there's always that silly cycle that kicks around, you know? It's just like, what can you do? Not too much, I suppose. Fortunately, today I remembered my red phone. That will make things much better. You really forget how much battery life it saves when your main phone is the one you're listening to YouTube or playing music out of. The side phone handling all that, really good. it actually saves like a lot of energy drain. And I don't know. I just thought that by now the power efficiency of those things would be better or something, but it seems pretty noticeable. So yeah, it's okay. So I don't know. I don't really know. I'm kind of losing my desire to buy the new stuff. I just don't. I don't know. I mean, eh, no, it would still make my life better, but I guess I just don't want to give into it, you know? The new phone, and it's just like, I'm just trying to hang in there and not do it. That's really the main. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how I'm feeling about it. And now I lost words. I started thinking. I started thinking again. Mm-mm. Not too good. I guess my cold's pretty much over now. It seems like it. Like my voice seems pretty normal. My nose hasn't been running. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's running a little bit, but yes, I guess let's not let's not get too excited here. Let's not get too excited. But yeah, I for the most part, this is great. I wonder what my sleep quality looked like. I was gonna check it, but then I didn't. So, and I probably won't until after I'm in. So, but yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame I have these quiet moments, I guess. Oh my gosh, these guys. Whoever's in the front ear is like, they're going way too slow for no reason. But luckily, I didn't have to press the brake pedal because I was able to turn the engine off in time. I turned the engine off. I was able to take my foot off the gas in time to just passive brake. I do wish that could happen though, that engine turn off thing that's automatic. I don't know why it's not manual. I think I talked about this before, because if it was manual and a human had control over it, then it could actually be like a pretty effective thing. Because you could look ahead and see like, oh, I'm going down a hill, or oh, I'm heading towards a stop sign, so let me turn this thing on. And I guess in the future that's how it would work. But for the time being, it doesn't work like that. So I think its effectiveness for the amount of damage it ends up doing for the car is very poor. You know, it's an interesting idea, but there's just no reason for it right now. I don't think so. I think in the future, this is an interesting thought I just had. Instead of sitting in traffic, all the cars would probably just shut off until it cleared up. Yeah, because that would save on so much emissions, wouldn't it? How has nobody thought of that? Like, if there was a traffic jam and then there was just like a moratorium on all car movement, everybody just froze, and then only the cars in front moved until it finally got through to the back, and then it unpaused. And then you'd have way less emissions, and I don't really think it would affect the time that much either. See, like, there's just so many things that make no sense. They make no sense about this world. Why has nobody thought of a system like that? And we have tech to do it now. We have tech to do it. I just cannot, for the life of me, understand. Like, let's just get with the program. Let's get with the program. You know what I'm saying? Get with the program. Seriously. Get with the program. Yeah, I'm sorry I have so much silent moments. I guess I'm still a little bit tired, but fortunately I'm not that tired to where, like, yesterday was really bad, but today I'm like fine. I'm doing okay today, you know. Like, I'm tired, but I'm not like that tired, I guess, you know. It's just kind of affecting my brain more so than my wake or sleep state. That's affecting my brain more so. Yeah, I'm trying to figure, how did that cop see me yesterday? I'm really trying to figure that. Because I don't... Yeah, I mean, what... I wonder how he even... Because I don't think there's really like a place here for. I mean, it wasn't here, but it was. I'm just trying to figure like where. And then of course today, yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't have much to. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was just like an unlucky, very unlucky timing that I even got. I just wonder where he would have been. I guess yeah. Because I've seen them in that spot before. I don't really know. Well, is my light luck going to be good? Of course, now I have like a perpetual scarring. Forgetting, yeah, like we can't. We're like never going to be able to drive properly again now. You know. It's like crazy. But yeah, light luck, not ideal. That's the conclusion. Conclusion for the day. Light luck is not ideal. And it cost me a bit of time. And possibly some, yeah, this angry guy behind me. Yeah, angry. Very angry. Yeah, I'm very like annoyed with this episode. I didn't bring much to the table. Not fun, not interesting, that's for sure. It's not fun or interesting. Yeah, my runny nose is not gone, so I don't know what I was talking about with that. That's a shame, but it's. I mean, I think it's. I don't know. You know what? I don't even know. I'm tired of. It is what it is. Like I'm not gonna. Done with sugarcoating. Finished with sugarcoating. Oh, great. We're here. We've arrived. We've arrived. Oh, good. It's another day of work. Made decent time today, though, so I guess light luck was okay. Light luck was definitely okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what to talk about. It's just been like a weird vibe. Things have been strange. And I apologize for that. Mm. All right. Just take care of the usual routine. The usual routine. Wow, I can't believe it. I never really talked about it, but we are over 200 episodes in, so, and it's about to skyrocket if we actually do the walk switch law as I have planned. That's just going to completely skyrocket because they're going to count as episodes just different. I'm going to have them sectioned off and merged. Like separate playlists and the same playlist because I think that is appropriate. So, anyways, we're nearing time to go. Sad but true. It's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see you schla.